teams of the group stage. Definitely let me know all that stuff down in the comments. And yeah, with that being said, let's get started. So here we are, the round of 16, or the knockout round. I've been seeing it being called both things, and I am more excited about this round, definitely, because this round, we have winners, we have losers, we have big time stakes, but most importantly, we have penalty shootouts, which in my opinion is the most exciting part about watching football, soccer. Having all the players line up at the end of the game after a very hard-fought matchup, and the crowd goes silent. Someone scores, they go crazy. Someone has a crazy save, they go crazy. It just builds up so much suspense on an already great soccer match, and we get a winner and a loser, which I think is really sick. So yeah, that's what we're going to be doing tonight, looking about the next round. I'm actually on the same website as I was last time. Last time it was the Telegraph website, and it's actually pre-updated, so if you go on it right now, it actually will have the up-to-date lineup of the winners and losers, which is really cool, so I don't have to do it all myself manually. I am going to be talking about the results of the group stages. So for Group A, we had the Netherlands getting the 1 seed and Senegal getting the 2 seed. Ecuador just missing it with the 3, and then Qatar, the home field advantage team, I think had 0 wins, which I think, if I remember seeing it somewhere on Twitter, was the only team ever in World Cup history to not have a win in their home field advantage for the World Cup, which makes a lot of sense. If you know the story about Qatar and sort of how they got the votes to, have the World Cup there, very interesting. I highly recommend you take a look at it. But anyways, Qatar, last place for Group A. Group B, we have England in first place. Who would have thought, with the US making it in the second spot, which is pretty exciting, obviously. Then we have Iran with the 3rd spot, and Wales in 4th, which I personally thought that Wales would have been that sort of fighting in team next to the US, sort of battling it out to get that 2nd spot. But Iran having a very, very, very good team this year, and fighting till the bitter end with the US in the final game, which was a really exciting one to watch. Then for Group C, we have Argentina in 1st, with Poland 2nd, with Mexico missing out, which I think was the first time in the last what was it, I don't want to think of it, was it 16 years, or a number of many years, many World Cups of Mexico not making it past the round of the group stages, I should say. Pretty sad. Then we have Saudi Arabia in last. For Group D, we have France in 1st, with Australia being 2nd. I was definitely wrong about that one. Then we have Tunisia, I think is how I pronounce it, in 3rd, and Denmark dead last. Group E, we have Japan getting the number 1 spot in their group for Group E, which I didn't even have them making it past the group stages, which is, I don't know how much of an upset that is, but I definitely did not see that coming, with Spain coming in 2nd, with, yes, Germany not making it to past the group stage, which was a bracket buster for my original video. If you saw that one, spoiler alert on that video, I had Germany going pretty far in the World Cup, mostly because of the name Germany has been so established in World Cup and in football, soccer play over many years, and I guess they're just not that way anymore, which is kind of sad. But I'm very excited to see Japan and see if this sort of Cinderella-esque type of story can go further. I think it's really cool. Costa Rica in last. Then we have Morocco in the 1 spot for Group F, which is, again, definitely did not see that coming, with Croatia in 2nd, and Belgium, another sort of team that I think was top rated. I think they were definitely top 10, maybe top 5, sort of entire rankings throughout the World Cup, also not making it out. So we have Belgium, Germany not making it past the group stage, Mexico as well. That's pretty insane to me. And then we have Canada in last place for Group G. I'm actually filming this on the night before of the final games of the group stages, but it's some combination of, for Group G, Brazil in the first seeded spot. Obviously, yes. Then we have Switzerland as of right now in the 2, Cameroon 3, Serbia 4. Now all 4 of these teams do play, so either way it's going to switch up the standings at some point. So you could have Cameroon win their way up to second, or maybe even Serbia when they're all the way to second. If Switzerland, I guess, maybe has a bad loss, I'm not entirely sure, but as of right now, Switzerland is in second. And then for Group H, we have the same thing. They're all playing tomorrow as I'm recording this video, with Portugal in first, who are going to stay first. Then we have Ghana in second, South Korea, and Uruguay. Which I think in all sort of retrospect, all these teams are maybe going to stay in a similar spot. Obviously, Brazil and Portugal are going to be at the 1 spot. Okay, so now we are at the official round of 16. Game number 1. We have the Netherlands going up against the United States. Oh man. Now, with the Netherlands being from Group A, having to go up against opponents like Senegal, Ecuador, and Qatar, I think those are definitely good teams, I guess. But I mean, the US drawing with England, I think, is the biggest takeaway of both of these teams, is the fact that almost a powerhouse, you could even say, with England, having a draw against them was super important. Beating out, actually drawing against Wales, and drawing it out with a pretty fiery Iran team. I really see the US having a big push. Now, obviously, Captain America, the sort of head guy for the US, did get injured in that match, which hopefully he will be at least somewhat healthy during this game and maybe can come back and maybe even play this game. I think that'd be pretty important, obviously, for the US to make it past, because the Netherlands are definitely, well, I was like, definitely, but they are a beatable team. Obviously, with what you guys have been seeing me titling these videos and whatnot, I think I'm slowly becoming more and more of a believer of this USA team. I'm actually going to pick the US to beat the Netherlands in the first round. Oh man, I was so pessimistic on the US. I'm going to knock on wood to not jinx them. I was very pessimistic on the US, maybe not even making it past the group stages in my first video. But I think I slowly became a believer. I'm going to root for them to make it out of this round. Round of 16, US moving on. Then we have Argentina and Australia. Argentina, of course, with the power of Messi, who did miss, I think, 2 free kicks, pretty easy free kicks, or even penalties. I think they were one of the 2. Which, man, definitely not in the best of run for Messi and Argentina, but they are still very dominant. Australia did, I don't want to say sneak their way into the round of 16, but I'm definitely going to be going with Argentina. Next matchup, we have England going up against Senegal, which, even though I was just talking about England and drawing with the US, don't get this wrong about England sort of playing down to the level of the US. I just feel like the England team was just not all there that game. But I think definitely England will, I don't want to say have a little pep into their step now, but they definitely felt the noise after a lot of people sort of calling them out for drawing against the US, and maybe they felt the heat a little bit, in my opinion, and and they shut them out. Well, not shut them out, but drew them, which is still very impressive. Won 4-1 against a very bad Canadian team, and then drew against Morocco. On the other hand, you had Japan, who beat a very impressive Spain team 2-1 in their last game. So they definitely have enough oomph to win out these games. They beat Spain, they beat Germany, so they definitely have enough firepower to get quality wins against quality teams. And oh man, I think I'm gonna be riding the train with Japan in this one. That might be a bad take, I don't know, but I have a feeling a little spark in this Japan team. I'm picking them over Croatia. Then at match 54, which I'm going to be titling it that or calling it that because this is the matchup against Brazil, against the eventual second seed in the H group. Now it could be a combination of a couple different teams. Like I said, for the H group, it could be Ghana, South Korea, Uruguay. It could be any one of them, honestly. But it doesn't really matter, at least in my opinion. That's why I'm not really sort of like being super like, oh my god, what if it's that team or that team? Brazil's is going to be whoever comes out of that group for the second spot there. And is there a team that I'm maybe even worried about? I mean, obviously Uruguay, you know, it has won the World Cup twice before, so maybe you have to look out for them. But as of right now, they are in last place. Ghana right now is currently in the second spot under Portugal with 3 points. Oh man, they do have a win, they have a loss. I don't know what happens in the next game, but no matter what, Brazil is so dominant, it doesn't really matter in my opinion. Up next, we have Morocco against Spain. Gonna be picking Spain in this place. Now Morocco, like I said before, has been pretty impressive in this World Cup play, definitely. But Spain to me is still, I would say, highly important, at least to the World Cup play. Morocco beat Canada, beat Belgium, tied against Croatia. So again, if you want to talk about group stages and group play, just how are they looking right now? Of course, Spain just losing their last game against Japan, which again, I'm sort of riding on that Japan wagon. Did tie against Germany and absolutely destroyed Croatia in their first game, 7-0, which is pretty insane. Definitely look out for a upset in this game with Morocco. Definitely wouldn't be surprised if they beat Spain, but I'm just, if you're making me choose life on the line in a sense, I'll be picking Spain. And for the final game, we have Portugal against the eventual second spot team in the G group, that is the Brazil group. Right now, it is actually Switzerland who's in that spot. Again, it could be different when the video is out and already to you guys. If it is Switzerland, if it is Cameroon, if it is Serbia, it does not matter who it is. Portugal is Portugal. Portugal might actually lose their last game. They might be resting Ronaldo. They might be resting a couple of their key guys for a nice deep run into the tournament if they are planning to do that. And I do think they are planning to do that, so they might even lose their last game, might bump up the scores of maybe another team. I don't know, but in this game, it doesn't matter who comes out. Portugal wins. So here we are now in the quarterfinals. The U.S. going up against Messi and Argentina. Oh my goodness. Now again, in my humblest opinion, me being from the U.S., I do think this is also maybe a winnable game. Nothing against Argentina, but man, we've seen cracks in this Argentina team. Messi definitely isn't the player that he used to be. This could definitely be a game where if Argentina has an off night, the U.S. with their high energy, high effort, high sort of praise of everyone sort of rallying behind them could really get off to maybe a dub in this game. I don't know. But again, if you're asking me, like I said before, with my life on the line, I think I'm going to be picking Argentina. The storyline with Messi, the team surrounding around Messi, this idea that it could be Messi's last ever World Cup, I think is super important to not only this team, but the country as well. Then we have the next matchup of Japan against Brazil. Brazil, like I've already said, is just such a powerhouse in the World Cup. They will probably always will be a powerhouse forever and ever and ever. And Japan, even though them making obviously everyone has a chance. Soccer, football is a very, one shot could win it all, one shot could miss it all, penalties, anything can happen. So, in my opinion, if Japan does win this game, which is very possible, it would have to go into extra time, and then maybe even a last-second goal, or even, again, penalties. I think that is the only way Japan wins. I don't think they would win in regular time, at least in my own opinion. Same matchup as I saw in my last video with probably the game of the quarterfinals, in my opinion, England against France. Has my opinion changed since watching the group stages on this outcome? I think yes. I think this is definitely way more of a winnable game for England than I previously thought. And this would actually be a game. I cannot wait to watch this game. This is actually going to be a game I watch the entire game of, because this is going to be such like high atmosphere. Everybody on Twitter is going to be active and talking about it. I do follow a lot of, the UK sort of YouTubers and social media people. Obviously, like I said before, like KSI, the Sideman, all those sort of guys are really fun to watch. And I will be rooting for England. Sorry, I will be 100% rooting for England. But nothing, at least in my own opinion, has changed on the thought of France making it pretty far in this tournament, and it still hasn't changed. I will be picking France to beat England, but I will be rooting for England, if that makes any sense. And maybe the next arguable game of the quarterfinals with Spain going up against Portugal, which is pretty impressive. I'm not gonna lie. Obviously, the same thing happening with Argentina and Messi is going on with Portugal and Ronaldo, and sort of rallying around this team with Ronaldo. I think it's super important. Spain is great. I think Spain could maybe even win the entire tournament this year. I think I might pick maybe somewhat of an upset here. I'm actually going with a lot of people's pick as well, a lot of people's fan favorites, and I'm going to ride with Ronaldo and Portugal in winning this matchup. Now again, I could see definitely them losing. Again, Portugal, I don't want to say is just Ronaldo, but it definitely relies a lot of the play on him, and it could be the same thing with Argentina, with the US. Could be caught slipping, just having an off night, and boom, they just maybe even get blown out in this game. I don't know, but I will be riding with Portugal, riding with Ronaldo, riding with I Show Speed and all of them. Alright, here we are with the new Jake Paul ASMR semifinals. Argentina against Brazil. Very, very, very tough matchup for Messi going up against Brazil, which I don't think Neymar will be there yet, right? Surely I don't think Neymar will be there, because that would be epic to see Messi going up against Neymar. That would be super duper fun to watch. Because I think Neymar is injured, of course, but I don't know if he'll be back during that time period. I'm not entirely sure, but man, oh my goodness. And I know, again, this will be a game I am rooting for Argentina. I will be 1000% rooting for Argentina. But again, just from what I've seen from the group stages and what I know from a little bit of knowledge of football / soccer, Brazil is really good, and they're not only really good for their attacking, but their defending as well is superb. They just have such a great all-around team. I gotta go with Brazil making it to the finals still. Then we have, well actually, did I have Germany making the finals? I actually don't remember. I had Germany going really far in the beginning of all this stuff in my last video. Pretty upsetting about them. But then we have France against Portugal, which I know a reason why a lot of people want Argentina to make it to the finals, because then Portugal can make it to the finals as well, having a Messi Ronaldo final, which I will also maybe be rooting for. In my own opinion, that would be insane. But if Brazil does beat Argentina, I will probably be rooting for France, because they're the team I'm picking to win this game. Again, sort of the same argument that I made in my last part with obviously talking about Ronaldo in Portugal. France, I feel like in my opinion, just has the better all-around team. Again, I could just be dumb, stupid, someone who doesn't watch a lot of football / soccer, and that is very true. That's what makes this video entertaining, because I could just be spewing out wrongness the entire time and I wouldn't even know, which is kind of funny. But yes, I will continue on picking France games I've seen, at least definitely watching the highlights. I've watched pretty much the highlights of every single game during the World Cup, but I haven't watched every single game entirely, of course, because obviously every game is like an hour and a half, and then also the fact that they're on at like 2 in the morning, 7 in the morning, and then they get like 11 a.m., which I'm doing like work stuff during that time period, so like, it's really tough. Ladies and gentlemen, I think I'm going to stick to my guns. I think I'm going to stick to my original winner, and I'm still picking France. I still think they have star power. They have a collective group. They still have a great sort of boost of morale in them. They're definitely on a high stride. They are definitely still one of the top players in this entire World Cup, and having to go up against Portugal, I don't want to say is an easy game, but definitely them going up against England as well. I think if they can get past England, they are going to be eyeing the title. If they can just get past England, they are going to be trying to win it all. I think that's a very tough game for France, and that's going to be a very high morale win if they do win it all against England. And I think that'll give them a good push and a good little stepping stone to a finals run, and then eventually winning it all, in my opinion. So, France, Kylian Mbappé, winning it all. Not too crazy. And then for my runner-up, I'll probably go Brazil, probably my second champion. But if it does go down to Argentina and Portugal, that would be just so epic. I would love that so much. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that is it. Thank you so much for watching tonight's video. Thank you so much. Make sure you comment down below your winners, your favorite games from the group stages, your favorite players so far, this and that, yada yada yada. And make sure you like the video